Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the next part of friction. Take out your textbook, page number 149. We had already understood the factors affecting the friction. Now let us understand what are the causes of friction. We know that friction is caused when the two surfaces comes in contact with each other, and it also depends on the nature of the surfaces which are in contact with each other. Now the surfaces may be rough or smooth. That also we have understood in the previous video. Now these surfaces have some grooves on them. These grooves are actually minute irregularities on them. These irregularities overcome the force of friction by interlocking into each other. On rough surfaces, there are a large number of irregularities. So, the force of friction is greater if a rough surface is involved. You can see the figure 12.5 of your textbook, page number 148. Similarly, if the surface is very smooth, the interlocking between the surfaces is less, and hence we can easily slide an object over a smooth surface because there the friction will be less. You can see here the surface and the irregularities on the surface. And we also know that friction always opposes the motion. Therefore, due to this interlockings between the surface, the friction comes in the picture. Now, let us understand whether this friction is good for us or bad for us. For this, I am taking few examples. Let us understand this with the help of examples. When you are walking, our foot comes into contact with the floor. So for walking, we need the force of friction. Similarly, when we are writing on a paper or your teacher writes on a blackboard, there must be some friction between the chalk and the blackboard, otherwise we will not be able to write. So here friction is good for us. Similarly, when we want to fix a nail on the wall, without friction we will not be able to fix it. Another example is between the tire of the vehicle and the road of the surface, the friction comes there. And if there is no friction, the car would not be able to either start or stop. Thus, these are the few examples where friction is necessary for us. So, the question arises that where the friction is not necessary for us or it is not good for us. Few examples are: you might have seen the soles of your shoes. If you are wearing the shoes for a long time, the soles of your shoes wear out. Why this happens? This happens due to the friction between the sole of the shoe and the surface. Due to friction, the soles of our shoes wears out. Similarly, when the friction is large, sometimes it also produces heat. During winters, when you feel very cold, you rub your palms. We did it so that our palms get warm. Now, how does our palm get warm? It is due to the friction. It means that friction also produces heat. Another example of this is that when you run a mixer, it becomes hot. It happens because the friction produces in the mixture and the friction produces the heat. When you strike a matchstick against a rough surface, it catches fire. So this is also an example of friction where the heat is generated. In fact, when a machine is operated, heat is generated, and because of this heat, there is much wastage of energy. So, in these all cases, the friction is not good for us, or you can say that these are disadvantages of friction. Now, with the help of this, we can increase and reduce friction so that we can make our life easier with friction. It means when we require, we'll increase the friction, and when we does not require, we reduce the friction. Let us understand by an example. When we walk on a wet floor, we slip and we may fall down. Here, the friction is very less. So, here we need to increase the friction. And how does we do it? You might have observed that the soles of the shoes have some irregularities on it. Similarly, the tires of wheels are treaded so that the surface becomes rough and the friction is increased here. Similarly, we deliberately increase the friction by using brake pads in the brake system of bicycles and automobiles. So these are the examples where we need to increase the friction. Now, few examples where we need to reduce the friction. When we play carom board, you might have observed that we apply a fine powder on the carom board. We do it so that the surface of the carom board becomes smooth and it is easier to strike the carom coins. We grease the chains of our bicycles and some machine parts to reduce the friction. We also pour few drops of oil on the hinges of the door so that it moves very smoothly. In many machines, the friction is reduced by applying ball bearings. There are some small ball bearings, round spherical shape of balls are applied there to reduce the friction. This type of friction is known as rolling friction, which we'll learn in the later part of this chapter. When we apply oil, grease or graphite on some parts of the machine, there a thin layer is formed, which makes the surfaces very smooth, and hence we reduce the friction. Such substances which are used to make the surface smooth, such as oil, grease or graphite, are known as lubricants. So, today's homework: to complete these question answers in your notebook, also read the chapter for better understanding. Thank you.